Educate, inspire, change. Educate yourself, inspire others, change the world. So during one of my stays at Rhythmia Life Advancement Centre, I have met an amazing woman by the name of Maiccu. Maiccu is an animal communicator, believe it or not. So she specialises in communicating with animals, which is a fascinating topic. I met Maiccu for the first time in March of 2019 during my first plant medicine journey. And then I met her again more recently in October at Rhythmia. And I decided that we should have her on the podcast just because she's a beautiful, beautiful soul with a beautiful energy. And she has a very, very, very interesting life, you know. She's basically an intuitive where she feels that she can communicate with animals, and she has an amazing relationship with nature herself. And yeah, you're basically going to hear her talk about how she started this journey, how she first realized that she had these sort of psychic abilities and was able to communicate with animals. If any of you have like lost animals or you feel like you want to understand your animal better, then I would really highly recommend this podcast for you. And I would really highly recommend that you reach out to Maiccu because she's an amazing human being with an amazing talent. And I'm sure you're going to really enjoy this podcast. Hi, Maiccu.
Hi, Kash.
So nice to see you.
Oh, wow. It's so cool to see you again.
Yeah. So I first met you back in March of this year, which was the first time I ever tried plant medicine ever. And it was here at Rhythmia where we are today.
Yeah.
So it's really, really nice to be back here, to be doing plant medicine again with you. And I really feel like this time we've connected. So it's been a beautiful, beautiful week for me. I know it's been a good week for you as well.
Oh, it's been an amazing week and we love having you here. You bring such a good energy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this week you've been holding some workshops of your own.
Yes.
Yeah. And it really interests me because this week, especially for me, I got in touch with my inner animal, you know. So it really made me think about you and how you got to where you are today. So I'd love to start just by a little bit with your story and what got you to where you are today. And then we can go a little bit deeper.
Yes. So I'm an animal communicator and I've probably always been an animal person and I've always talked with animals, but I didn't understand that there's actually a thing before. I kind of understood it when I got older. I lost my first dog early 2000 when he was just 5. It was very, very sudden. And after that, I started to look information. Is there an afterlife for pets? Where did he go? Why did he have to leave? And I found that there's a thing called animal communication by Googling stuff. I'm like, nah, this is something, it can't be true. So I looked if there's books or any education about the stuff, and I found a ton of books from Amazon. I ordered them, like probably 10. I read them. I'm thinking, it's not a coincidence. These people don't know each other. They wrote a book. Somebody published it. Somebody's buying them, and at least one person is reading them. Correct. And, I was like, at that point, it made so much sense. It was so logical. And I understood that, this is something that I want to do. And I started to study. And at the time, I was an airline mechanic. I worked for Finnair, Finnish airline, for 21 years. And it's very rational world compared to, talking with animals. And everybody told me, it's not possible. It's not possible. I started to study. It's a lot of synchronicities. One thing leads to another. And suddenly I was writing messages first to my friends. I had a very good friend who was pilot at the time, the same company. And she asked me to do a reading with her dogs. And I did. And she's like, whoa, how do you know all these things? I said, I don't know. It just comes to me. And so there it went.
So that was your first reading?
That was the first reading I ever did that I really understood that I'm doing something,
So let me get my head around this a little bit. So someone approaches you, their animal's passed away to the other side, and they come to you and they ask you to send a message from their dog or to try to communicate with their animal. So how does that process work? How does it look? What do you do? Do you use a pen and paper? Is it just through your mind?
Yeah, I can use pen and paper, but now because I want to be fast and deliver the message. If I don't meet the client in person, and their animal in person, I do it just through email. They send me a picture of their animal. It doesn't matter if the animal is still with us or already passed.
Oh, okay.
And I tune in, and I start writing down everything that comes to me. It's like ayahuasca. You just let the messages come. Whatever is coming, you surrender. I just type, whatever it is. But at the same time, during these years, because I've almost done this now, it's almost been 20 years, I understood that there's so much to it. Your whole being, all the senses, and all the sixth sense, which is the psychic sense, that kind of puts everything together. It's like a puzzle piece. I can hear things. I can see things in my mind's eye. I can taste, feel bodily sensations, smell, all different things. And it's just, let's say, for example, I'm writing the message and I see different visions, where the animal is at, how does it look around them, and then I suddenly hear a train. And I know that I'm hearing rhythmia, there's no trains going by. I immediately know that is to do with the animal. They probably live somewhere close to the train station. So there.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Really interesting. So, obviously I've experienced ayahuasca now on 3 different occasions, so 12 times in total. And only recently did I discover my spirit animal. You were there in the room with me at the time, and I think you saw me stretching my arms and dancing around. So I really have very strongly to the animal of a bird, And it's funny because you were just noticing my tattoos today, and I must have known this already deep down, because anytime I go to receive tattoos, I'm always looking for something related to wings or birds or nature. So it resonates with me, and it just made sense, when I was in the ceremony and I started whistling out loud to other birds in the room. It was really, really surreal, So I can really relate to what you're saying now, because I was channeling my inner bird. I felt like I was a bird, and I could feel my wings stretching, my backbones were coming out as if my wings were growing. So it was really, really surreal, which is why I'm really excited to talk to you today, because I want to understand a bit more about myself as well. And obviously understand more about this realm, because animals, for me, I've never been able to keep pets around my house, because my mother, growing up, she was always a bad asthmatic, and she was allergic to cats and fur and all this kind of thing, So it took me until I was older to be able to really connect with animals. Maybe up until the age of 20, I never really was around them. My friend had a dog, but that was the only communication I would have, But I feel very close to animals, especially now, having done ayahuasca. I love studying them, looking at them, communicating with them. Even walking around here at Rhythmia, you'll see a gecko. You just want to sit and talk to it for a while, or a frog. Like the other night, we came back from a ceremony and there's a frog waiting outside the door.
Yeah.
And it just stood there, and it wouldn't do anything. And we were thinking this must be a sign of some kind, or it's trying to communicate something. So we were looking up the meaning of what does a frog symbolize. And it was it symbolizes rebirth.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful, Yeah. And it was just sitting there, and we thought, let's just let it sit there and see how long. It stayed there for hours and hours, and it wouldn't move. And in that time, we were talking, we were bonding, and we realized the frog was there to help us just communicate and talk and integrate what had happened, And then I think Galaxy, the dog, came later and gave the frog a little kiss.
Yeah.
And then just wandered off.
Oh, wow.
It's beautiful, just all this nature and animals around us, So it's absolutely beautiful. So so you've been an animal communicator now for 20 years. So I imagine you're helping a lot of people overcome pain with the grief process.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing that you do. But I also I know there's a lot of mediums that do this, and for humans, and many of them are being labeled charlatans and this kind of thing. So what would you say to somebody who says to you that they don't believe this, or they want, because you must get it a lot, where people say this to you, obviously, what would be your reply to them, and how would you convince them or show them that this is 100% real?
Yeah, this is it's interesting. What I say to them in reality, I say, you're right.
Okay, I didn't expect that.
No, yeah, because there's no point for trying to convince someone that is already convinced with their own opinion. But of course, if they want to know, I'm very, very open. I'm very open to showing people what I do and tell them more detailed, and I'm, invite them to come to the lecture or something. And that's how people learn. And then if they need a help with their own pet, but it's people that believe what I do are right. People that don't, they're right, because there's no way of telling somebody, that trying to, and I do it quite differently. But I have to just say something about your experience with seeing the bird thing.
Yeah, sure.
Isn't it interesting? You've been all your life connected with birds and seeing the birds and being interested, and you have tattoos and whatever. And then ayahuasca is like a key to show you why. What is the connection there? Why is it like? And that happens to so many people that come here, and they say that they are always wanted to travel to say Arabic countries or China, or there's something that comes in your dreams that you're connected with drinking tea, and you never know why, and then you drink ayahuasca and it shows you your past life, or or something that happened when you were a little child that you can't remember. So it's very, very cool. I'm so happy for you that you found your bird.
Oh, thank you so much. And I feel like not only did I find my bird, but like in a literal sense, I was able to spread my wings. I found freedom.
Yeah, freedom
to express myself as well. Because when growing up for me, like dancing and singing and laughing was frowned upon in my household. So if you started doing this, someone would tell you off instantly. So you got, your brain got used to this kind of, not expressing yourself. And it was almost embarrassing, and you felt shame. You wouldn't you go to weddings and parties, and you would just stand in the back because you'd be too embarrassed to go in the middle. So this was kind of a big part of my life. And I remember when I was younger, I think maybe in my early 20s, my girlfriend at the time, she was into mediums and psychics. So she took me to one, and the psychic at the time told me, "I see your wings have been clipped." It's funny that she said that to me,
Wow.
She said, "You have wings, but they've been clipped," which would have made sense to me at the time, but then I must have just forgotten. And then I came back here this week and I discovered my wings, and it made me remember that, oh God, I lost them and now they've came back, So just so much synchronicity. It's just beautiful how it all worked out for me. So I'm really excited to kind of take my new wings and fly with them and see where it takes me, And it's just really, really a fascinating world for me, because animals are such a big part of this world, and it's almost like there's a divide between humans and animals. And so to meet someone like you who's got such a close bond with animals, you can kind of bridge the gap between humans and animals. It's really, really special, and I think the work that you do is amazing, And for someone like me who's just kind of new to the animal world and new to this, it's really, really fascinating. So obviously you do animal readings. Is this your full-time career? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
I left airlines 2012.
Awesome. So you work from home, I imagine, or you travel around the world as well?
We travel around the world, but also mostly from home, and now we're here.
Beautiful.
Here, so we just...
So if somebody wants to communicate with you or contact you, I'm guessing they can just contact you online and you can send you a photo.
Just to send through email. It's the best thing.
Awesome. Do you want to say your website, or you have a website?
Our website is it's magia.com. M-A... Oh my goodness, I have to spell it out.
That's okay. We can find it at the end.
Yeah,
we spell it for you. Yeah. Cool, man.
We just opened a new website, so...
Awesome. Yeah. That's cool. So people can go in there, just type in their information, and you'll get back to them.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So that's amazing. So obviously you've been on this plant medicine journey for a long time as well.
From 2017, July, first time here in Rhythmia, and it helped a lot. I've been doing this work for so many years, and plant medicine showed me it's true.
Yeah. So it must have really accelerated your skills and your mediumship.
Oh yes. It helped. It opens up more and more all the time.
That's amazing. And you're going to keep doing this forever now. And I can only imagine how amazing you're going to be in years to come as well. You're just going to continue to grow and grow and grow,
Yeah, this is the one thing that I've been so doubtful about stuff in my life. This is the one thing that I'm sure.
You're sure about.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I remember listening to your workshop, and you mentioned in your earlier years you overcame some dark periods.
Oh, yes.
So you had to go really low before you were able to rise up again.
Yeah.
And obviously, my podcast and my show, it's a lot to do with, educating and inspiring people. So I think your story, and I love hearing people that have, overcame great obstacles, because it can be used as an inspiration for others, because there might be other people out there experiencing what you experienced in the way of maybe depression or sadness and all these kind of things. So I'd love to maybe hear about how you overcame any obstacles and, how you got to where you are today, because I believe that has a big role in the way you are, overcoming all those obstacles.
It's super, super important, and I can't address enough that anyone can actually get through whatever it is. And I didn't know why. I was really super anxious. I had a lot of fear. I had very, very severe panic attack. Every once in a while they came and I was like, it's horrible. And I self-medicated, mostly with beer and other alcohol too, but alcohol was my go-to thing. And we all know that problems swim. They are the best swimmers. After a couple beers, stuff starts coming out of your mouth that is not really you. And so nothing helped me. I was a mess, internal mess. And I was always blaming outside world why things are like they are. And because of animal communication, we got and healing that my partner Ingela does, we got invited to come and teach here in Rhythmia. And she said to me that there must be something in this world that helps you, because hypnotherapy, meditation, healing, everything helped me to a certain extent, but not like fully, completely. And so we come here to Rhythmia and already decided we're going to teach. We teach 4 days, 4 days of animal communication, silent healing. And I said, I'm going to do the whole program, what they offer. And we drank the 4 nights of ayahuasca and we left here. I haven't had single panic attack. I haven't had beer. I can have a glass of wine every once in a while. I've had 1 glass of wine probably 4 months ago. It made me feel groggy. I don't even want that. So I haven't had any panic attacks. My anxiety reduced at least like 98%, I would say. I still get a little anxious about stuff, which is normal. And so I don't know. It's like I can't thank this place enough. I cannot thank ayahuasca enough and all the fellow travelers and the medicine family. It's like I'm just like an ayahuasca advertisement wherever I go.
Me too. Because I feel the same, because it saved me a lot, and me bringing my partner here this week. I'm so grateful that she was able to come, because we have 2 young children together, so the future for them and the future for her and for me is just going to continue to grow. And a lot of that is down to this journey we had this week, so I totally relate to you with the medicine. We wouldn't be here doing this podcast today if it wasn't for the medicine, because when I was here in March, I could never do this. I wouldn't be talking so clearly. I wouldn't be confident enough to be on camera. I would have, found an excuse not to do it. I would have paid somebody else to do it, So I'm so grateful to the medicine like you, because it's created the path for both of us, And I think the medicine almost uses us like a vessel.
Oh yeah, I always say that you think that it's you, but after you drink that first cup, bigger forces take over.
100%.
It's like bigger than you can ever imagine. It's like your path starts opening up. You start meeting the synchronicities get stronger, and obviously it can happen without the plant medicine. But I think that we kind of understand. We know where to look, and she guides us. And you've been coming back here, and we've been coming back here. This is our 6th time that we've been teaching here this week, and it's freaking amazing,
isn't it?
It's just magnificent.
I know. So one of my things is we're making a documentary here this week, and I'm wanting to really share the medicine with the West in the right way. And for me, Rhythmia is a great place because many people from where we're from in Europe, they're fearful of going to the jungle maybe, and they don't trust, certain shamans, or they're not really sure. So a place like this gives them the safety, the security, the comfort, knowing they can let go here, they can be themselves, they can trust the medicine, they can trust the people around them. So it's a very, very important place, I think, for the world, because already 6,000 people have been through here, and that's a lot of healing, and you can only imagine their family, their friends have all been healed as well. So it's a very important place, and like people like me and you who come here, we can't talk highly enough about the place, and a special mention to Jerry Powell as well.
Oh my goodness,
what a guy!
He's the man. He's amazing that he went through all the loops and hoops that he had to go through to get this place. And, it goes without saying that it's only one in the whole world that is medically licensed.
Yeah.
That you can be so safe. And, we have medic on site all the time coming to check up on people if there's anything. There's doctors on board, a psychologist. There's like the whole team is massive. And it's only one in the world at this time. So it's great.
Beautiful. So a couple more questions I want to ask you about specific. I want to go back to animals for a second, because I was just thinking there, because obviously a lot of people, when we're going to put this podcast up, we're going to, have you as the animal communicator. So a lot of people will be listening to this and maybe have lost animals. So they'll be going through grieving and grief. So when you speak to people who have lost animals, obviously you're able to communicate. So they must be somewhere in the spirit world. So for these people grieving, wondering where their animal's gone, wondering if they're okay, what would you say to them, just generally speaking, to put their mind at ease? And so where their animals are, is there like a heaven for animals, like a dog heaven and a cat heaven? Can you explain a little bit about this?
They go all the same place where we go. We are all this part of the same big, huge energy. And I always said that, for fun, before I understood it fully, that if they don't go to heaven, I'm not going. So they're all in the same place. The big message is that I am still with you. The hardest part for us as humans is that we can't touch them. And they give so much confirmation through their message to their people after they're passed, where they're at, and they see their people and they get, validation. And they're another message is that, there's no reason to feel guilt about what happened and how did they pass, and everything's just universally, divinely aligned. Everything's perfect. It's all good. That they are in very, very good place. And they say that we as human, we get stuck in the time just before their passing, where they were really ill or we had to let them go or whatever that is. And they said that, think about the happy memories. Go back in time when I was just a puppy or a kitten or whatever, that when everything was good. When they transition, it doesn't matter if it's a human or animal, it's all perfect, all perfect.
Oh. So let's say somebody's just lost an animal and they're maybe thinking they want to try to communicate with them in some way. Is there a specific technique or stuff like you mentioned, I think, something to do with pen and paper you do? So it is, I think one of the other mediums here, they use pencil and paper because they bleed the lead and they just close their eyes and they channel energy, and sometimes their hand starts moving. Is there a way that you can maybe...
You can do that, or you can just, take a little time sitting quiet. Just think of something that you would love to hear from them and ask them for a specific sign, or ask them for a sign that only you could know what it is, like, a feather or a butterfly or a bird or, something, whatever. And it's like, let's say that you ask for a specific kind of butterfly. You have to remember, it can come through a TV screen. It can come through a book or a magazine. It doesn't have to be a particular butterfly, flying. And it can be, but, just pay close attention to all the signs and different things.
Yeah, that's quite resonates with me, because when you say pay attention to the signs, like since I've been here, I've noticed lots of signs that were always there, but I just didn't notice them, So it's about tuning into that frequency. It's about being open and to receive information. Because when you're people watching this, some will be pessimistic. Some will think, oh, they're talking fairy talk and they're talking all this language I don't understand. And they're going to be closed to receiving these signs, these signals. Whereas other people will maybe be thinking their heart's open, their mind's open. And I can imagine them being able to use what we've said and to use it to their advantage, so they can communicate with animals or just receive information and signs. So for me, like when I was here on Monday night, I think I came over to you, remember? Something hit me in the head and I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the hell was that? And I thought it was a little gecko, but because it was dark in the room, it was a wee shadow on my bed. But it ended up just being a feather or something like a feather. And it was beautiful because I saw like light coming out of both ends, It was a real gift. And I thought to myself that I would never have been able to receive this gift before, because now I'm open, and I felt like I was open to receive these, and I was asking to be blessed with knowledge. I was asking to shine ayahuasca to shine its light through me, and then I had this feather with light shining at both ends. It was just unbelievable. So I feel I wouldn't have got that had I not been so open. So I think that's a good thing to try to say to people, is that just open your mind, open your heart, and be open to receiving and giving. And then you'll see miracles happen all around you.
Be less judgmental. That's the thing. And they can't be so pessimistic if they watch this far.
Yeah, I agree. If they made it this far, they must be on board.
Yeah. And don't have so much judgment.
Yeah.
And a little bit of ayahuasca helps with that too.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. It's obviously a big step for lots of people to take because there's a very big stigma on ayahuasca. Is it a drug? What is it? Is it addictive? Can you die? All these questions people ask me, And it's understandable because the education on ayahuasca, not many people have been educated about it. They have to learn for themselves.
Well, thank God for you, and thank God for all the other great media people that come through here too, that spread the knowledge. And one thing we both can say, hand on heart, you can't get addicted to ayahuasca.
No, it does the opposite. It cures your addictions to all the bad things in the world,
Yeah.
One thing I have to admit, what I can get addicted to is this feeling of love, this feeling of community, this connection, because you come here, you meet people, and within 24 hours, like your brother, your sister, it's your father, it's your best friend, because the ayahuasca just opens you up completely.
That's a good thing.
That's an amazing addiction, it's just a feeling of love, So if I would say the only reason why I like to keep coming back here, ayahuasca you can do anywhere, but places like this with so many people, it's just that feeling of love, because you can support each other. I've got looking through my phone, and I've got must have 200 numbers just from coming here, and every one of them is beautiful connection, beautiful, deep, meaningful connection. So anyone else thinking about coming to do plant medicine, they also have that to look forward to as well. If you're maybe a bit lonely in life, if maybe your family is very small, or you don't have many friends, like ayahuasca can give you a whole new tribe, a whole new family, and it brings people to you that you need at the right time in your life, like the way it's brought me and you together.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like my journey with animals and your knowledge, and just the fact we're on this plant medicine journey together is really beautiful, very, very synergetic. And the fact that we have this podcast and we're able to talk today,
yes, it's awesome. It's amazing. It's just aligned. Everything just aligned perfectly. Perfect.
Beautiful. So it's been a pleasure speaking to you today, Maiccu.
Thank you so much, Kash. Thank you for coming. Are you coming back, right?
Yeah, 100%. I'll be back. 100%. I wish nothing but the best for you. And what we'll do is we'll include your details in the description for wherever we post this on YouTube or Facebook and things.
Thank
so anyone
you.
wants to contact you, we'll leave a description.
Yes, you will get the website right.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kash. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.